Warp Pipe Wednesday.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Warp Pipe Wednesday. I like your glasses. You trying to be nerdy?
I don't know. I think so. Just trying to be weird. Is it working?
Yeah, I guess so. For those who are watching on YouTube.
I have my hands upside down making glasses.
Fantastic.
Just trying to throw Russ off.
So this is our short show. If you guys listen to the weekly Warp Pipe, we also do every Wednesday as Warp Pipe Wednesday. It's like a 15-20 minute show talking about extra topics. And we decided to chat about the angry video game nerd, AVGN, James Rolfe. Maybe Rolfe. R-O-L-F-E. Rolfe. Now, I haven't got to physically say hi and meet him, but I've seen him a bunch when I've gone to Too Many Games convention, and he was at PAX East a few times, and I just kind of like waved or whatever, but I just never had the opportunity to say, hey, what's up? But
yeah, I would really like to talk to James. I find him extremely intriguing and interesting.
The funny quick story, my buddy Ganny, man, we were on our way to PAX probably 4 years ago. We take the train in and we were walking there, and maybe 2 blocks up, Ganny man noticed James, and he was like, hey, James, waved to him, and he kind of got freaked out and did a beeline into his hotel. So I was like, no, okay, wow. Whatever. But he ended up meeting him later that day and got pictures with him and signed his DVD that he got of the movie. And he does 2 types of photos. He does a photo like smiling, and then one like mad, frown faced. So you get both.
His classic.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Did your friend apologize for freaking him out in the street?
I think he mentioned to it, and then he kind of shrugged it off or whatever. It was like, oh yeah, I had to get something or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So who knows? But yeah, I've been watching him literally, since probably the first episode, way back in the day. And anytime a new episode came out, I was super excited because that was early days of YouTube watching him then. So I was never seen nothing like that before with the skits and stuff, doing the reviews.
Listen to this story real quick. So I started watching him in either really late 2013 or really early 2014. It was about the time my daughter was born, which was October 2013. And basically I was sitting around my house. We had just moved in 2 months prior, and we didn't have cable TV, and I don't even think we had Netflix. So I just watched a ton of YouTube while I was home with my daughter, and something got me thinking about Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis. So I typed that in, and the first thing that came up was the James Rolfe video where he does the Super Nintendo versus the Sega Genesis. He's got video of him, when he's a kid defending Super Nintendo. And the interesting thing about that video is James is himself, and he's very articulate, and he makes this well-made video, well thought out. And it's just, so that was my first introduction to James.
You could almost say, the way you're describing it, where it could almost be my retro life, like Tyler, right?
It was
reflecting back, because he has lots of footage of him as a child too. So
yes, he actually does, as well do I, a little bit. And so the next thing I see is an Angry Video Game Nerd episode, and I'm like, this super articulate, well-spoken guy who's making this amazing video about Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis has reduced himself to swearing and stuff. And I was so confused. I mean, I think initially, the first time I saw it, I was kind of turned off by it. But very, very quickly, I got it and I changed my mind on it and loved it. But yeah, it's just I felt like that was a really interesting way to be introduced to James, because it was probably the opposite for most people.
Right. Where they probably watched the early Castlevania video and him just swearing. Well, those early videos too, if they were on it was almost not so much a character. He was kind of maybe forcing it a little bit to be angry and this and that. He really developed it, a couple episodes down from that. And
right. You kind of grew into it, but yeah, and just kind of a backwards way to get introduced to James / the AVGN.
Right. And we're going to talk about some of our favorite episodes. The one out was standing out to me, which I thought was fantastic. It was, I believe, like a Christmas episode. I don't know what exact episode it was, but they were trying different peripherals, and um, what's his name was on it? Keith Apicary, and
Yeah.
he well, his character Nathan, Keith Apicary is the character, and they were like hitting each other with the peripherals, like they were trying out like the Sega baseball bat, so they were like hitting each other with that and using like the activator and like punching and stuff, and they were like destroying the Christmas tree.
Yeah, the activator was cool.
And he's a very how would you say, like, physical actor.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He definitely like doesn't mind hurting himself for a good shot.
Right. So I thought that was hilarious because I always love the over the top skits that he has done on the shows, but that one kind of stood out in my mind.
Yeah, and Keith Apicary is such a great character too. Like, I was watching this roast one time, and he basically described himself. He's like, I look like a someone's grandpa or someone's uncle who's bald already at the age of 35.
Now I met him too, but I kind of met him in a transitioning phase where his character Dad. I don't know if you've seen any Dad stuff.
Yeah, I have.
And he was at Too Many Games, but as Keith Apicary, and I kind of mentioned stuff as like Dad or whatever, and he's like, not breaking character or whatever. He's like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, yeah, he's really good at like staying in character.
For sure, for sure.
But yeah, that was a great episode. The ones that stand out to me, well, there's several, but I'll start with this
Okay.
one because I love Castlevania so much. There's like a Castlevania trilogy where he goes back after his initial Simon's Quest review and reviews the first game, the second game, the third game, and even the 16-bit games, and I think even the 64 games. But it's funny because like after he does the first review, he's gonna skip to like the third game because he already reviewed the second game, and you keep hearing that da-na-na-na-na, and it like keeps flashing. He's like, no, I already did that one, I'm not doing it. And it's like da-na-na-na-na, no, I did it already. So you
Right,
keep
right.
hearing that classic Castlevania 2 music, and he finally gives in and like re-reviews it. But I thought those were excellent.
Yeah,
So
the
many
jokes are on
quotes.
and everything.
Yeah, and just like I love it. He's like, I'm sitting on my, I'll use PG language. He's like, I'm sitting on my butt playing Nintendo. And my cousin goes, hey, you want to play some Castlevania? And he's like, we popped that son of a bee in, and bam, just like it's just like I don't know, man. I love Castlevania so much that's just like a great episode for me.
Right, right. Hit home
Yep.
for that. For sure, definitely. And I remember sidetracked a little bit. I really enjoyed watching his Cinematic Massacres Monster Madness videos
Yeah.
when they would come out, and I would watch them on Cinemassacre because I don't think he had posted them to YouTube, or he did like later or whatever. But he would have 30 or 31 episodes on October, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, they're short, movie reviews, and all the movies I basically haven't seen because they're like older horror movies, and I had thought those were great. And I even dived into some of the other stuff that he also did, like his own short movies.
Yeah. Yeah, like Snicks and all that stuff.
There was one like the like Blue Lagoon, I want to say, or it was something about a lagoon in Jersey,
Yeah.
and it was very like Twilight Zone ish,
Yeah.
and that was a good one.
Um, I like he has this video about this dragon that he saw as a kid at this park, and he kind of had nightmares about it. And the video is called "The Dragon of My Dreams." And I've heard people make fun of it on like Red Cow reviews or whatever that channel is called, where they don't quite get the point of it. But I found it very interesting. And one of the coolest parts
Mhm.
about that video was once he kind of decides like I need to go revisit this dragon and like confront it
Mhm.
and like face down my childhood fears kind of thing. Uh, they were actually removing it from the park, or they were digging it up like the day he just happened to
That's
go
right.
back to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
park. And like, what are the chances of that you didn't miss it by one day?
Right. If
Now,
he's scheduling error or whatever, and it's like, no, we knocked that down yesterday.
yeah. So it's kind of really cool, and he actually got to go in and film it and everything. Um, Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book, I just listened to it on Audible for free with a free trial, and make sure if you do that, you cancel your subscription because it only lasts a month before you get charged. But
So
I,
he's to cut you off. He's talking about the book that James Ralph just put out. It's called A Movie Making Nerd.
yes, for context, exactly. Yes,
Okay.
so my apologies. But basically, what I found out in the book is that dragon has been replaced with like an updated one, but they moved that one to like a different part of the park, so they actually kept it.
Oh, well, that's good. So they just relocated it,
Yeah,
and it lives on to
it
scare other
lives on
children.
to scare the children. Exactly. So maybe in the future there'll be a new AVGN James Rolfe.
He can bring his kids there.
But I just thought that was like the raddest story. I don't know why, but it was like this thing just like represented so much in his life. I don't know. I
Right.
found that very interesting. Now it's not really an AVGN episode, but just one of his other videos.
Right. No, absolutely. There was one episode that he did that was a one take episode.
Oh wow.
I think it was on the NES game Immortals.
Okay.
And I think he I watched something, maybe the behind the scenes or something, where they had to film it like 40 something times. So one take is they're filming it. There are no cuts in the video itself. And it's like a, you know, almost 15-20 minute video. And he has tons of dialogue. And there's like things happening because he's putting on this dialogue. And then there's like flames that come out and something else. So like everything has to go perfect or else you have to start the take over essentially. And so it was a lot of effort put into it for a game I never played or want to play, Immortals. It was definitely fun.
I'm sure that was painstaking to film that.
Right, but it was something on his bucket list. I know he said he wanted to do because he's always seen it in certain movies where they have, this long one take, and you're like, a lot of times though they do hide certain cuts where they're filming and maybe they go like behind the person and then it's kind of dark and then they could kind of pan over and that could be the start of another take, but you don't realize it watching it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. Neat
Little
little
like
movie trick.
movie tricks, yeah.
Um, one of the other episodes that I found very interesting, maybe not interesting, but just hilarious, the Ninja Gaiden episode. So he has one of his
Yes,
buddies
yes.
dressed up like a ninja. They got some green screen effects where he's like at a Shaolin temple, and you see like these birds flying in the background. It's really cool. And he's like the greatest ninja, and he's like, "Yes, my son." And he's like, "Ah, Ninja Gaiden. I haven't thought about that game in years." And it's just so great. And then he teaches James all these like maneuvers. He's like, "Show me your thumbs." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." He's
Right,
like
right. He's got
bopping his thumbs
the fan
on
like
the
set
fan
up
blade.
without the cover on, so he's like you have to like put your fingers in and out so you don't get hit by the fan.
Yeah. And he's doing all these like all this like training, and there's like a whole montage. And basically he's playing Ninja Gaiden because he wants to
Mhm.
beat it like he's never beaten his whole life. And he has all these like these little tips. He's like, before you leap, you must look. It's like, and then he like goes, I looked. He's like, before you think, you must feel. He's like, he's like, and then my favorite one is, look beyond the borders of the screen, nerd. And it's like, how can you do that? And then finally, like the ninja's like, he's like, all right, give me the controller. And basically the ninja's doing it. And he's like, the ninja's getting all pissed off. And basically
Yeah,
they both quit the game and start drinking Rolling Rock.
yeah. Yeah, definitely good writing for sure on that.
But that was like such a good episode.
Right, yeah, and I love going back and checking out those earlier episodes. He has been uploading like full seasons, so if you kind of wanted to do a marathon instead of doing like the playlist, you can just do like all of season 1 and it's like 3 hours or whatever. So if you wanted to get caught up one day, do like a week marathon.
Yeah. I surprisingly will like put on a playlist and fall asleep to it often.
Oh, okay, just like I have it on in the background. A lot of
Well, I
times
just
I
like
would put on.
it's like on my phone, and I'll have like
Oh,
earphones in, and I'll just
yeah.
face my phone down and listen to the episodes till I'll pass out.
Oh, almost podcast style. Like,
Yeah, and hope I don't strangle myself in my sleep with my. I need some earbuds so
I'm
that way
like,
they
wait, you
don't.
don't have wireless there?
No,
Oh,
I don't. I'm old school.
at least they're not the like Marty McFly headphones. I guess it's
Yeah.
hard to lay on the pillow with those.
Well, I lay flat on my back looking up, so I'm
Oh,
all good.
okay, perfect. Yeah, oftentimes I do like to like lay in bed at night and put on either like a speed run of a game or something like that, just
Yeah.
hearing the sounds and all that. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep with like AVGN swearing and being wild.
It like turns my brain off. So instead of me thinking, I just hear something and like I don't know.
Okay.
So who knows?
Oh, what about you had brought this up before, the episode where he brought on Macaulay Culkin.
That episode is awesome.
I was
Yeah.
like, what? Like, it's really him? Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I would love to know how he got Mac on there. I've heard Macaulay Culkin claim himself a man of leisure. Basically, he made so much money as a kid that now he
Mhm,
can pretty much just do whatever he wants. So, like, if it's a project he's interested in, he can just
mhm.
do it, because he's not really worried about money. So he must be an AVGN fan, because he's like that perfect age, like just like he's only a year older than us, so he's right
Right.
there in that demographic.
Well, I'm sure however they contacted him and pitched it, kind of like, hey, we're kind of celebrating slash poking fun at these games that were made about you. Would you want to come on and do some skits based on it?
Yeah, it's so funny because they keep doing this one thing. They're like, "Hold me," and they hug each other. I'm like, so lucky getting to hug Macaulay Culkin.
Because I'm trying to think, I'm trying to think if he was on 3 episodes because they did do that AVGN episode, but Macaulay Culkin was also in The Page Master. And was that a video game too? Because I want to say they did like either a movie review or something with him in that. If or that might have been like the podcast when they were in like the movie store.
Yeah, they might have did that, and I feel like they did another video where Macaulay wanted to talk about some certain weird movie that he liked that maybe
Okay.
James also liked. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, because they definitely had him down for like a full day and got as much footage
Yeah,
as they could.
basically got like 3 episodes out of him, which was freaking awesome.
Right. And yeah, I was like, is that really him? Like, and
It was
then
they called him the Pizza Boy, and he just
right.
went with it. He's like,
Because he was like, wait a minute, you're the pizza boy. Like you're like, oh, he was gonna say, hey, you're the kid from
yeah,
the movie.
and at one point he goes McCulkin. He like combines his first and last name, which was amazing.
Yeah, certainly a fun episode for sure. And they've had a few other like celebrities on the episodes,
Yeah,
which was
Gilbert
great.
Godfrey was on one.
Yes, yeah, he was on one, and now my name's gonna forget me here, but on the I believe the Toxic Crusader
Oh,
episode, they had what's his name on it? That's the curator there of Toxic Crusader.
oh yeah, I feel like I remember that.
I can't remember his name, but
I don't
he
either.
he was on there.
Another great episode was the TMNT episode because it was like one of the earlier ones.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, you just walk over it,"
Oh
which
yeah,
was just
the little gap in one of
yeah,
the levels, and you keep trying to jump.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, that one's really good. And did I mention another one earlier when we were talking about this, Russ?
Which one? What do you mean?
Sorry, like so we Turtles, Ninja
Yep,
Gaiden, Castlevania,
Castlevania.
Home Alone.
Yep.
What was the other one I said I really liked?
Um.
Maybe it was you. I know you were talking about the Mario 3 one with like the Mecha Jesus or whatever it was.
Right. That's that. When I said what was the episode at towards the end, he was fighting Mecha Jesus, and he had like the power pad as a cape, and he's on the
Yeah.
rolling rocker. He has two power gloves and a zapper, and the what the heck, the helmet that shoots fire and whatever, and that's like
Oh
his
yeah.
main.
I think that was the Mario 3 episode. Like I think that one really evolved into some weird stuff.
Right.
So, but that was a really good one too.
Have you ever played the his video games, the Angry Video Game Nerd video game?
No, I haven't.
They do have it on Switch.
Maybe one
And
day I'll download it.
yeah, and I think it comes because they have 1 and 2, and I think you can buy it as a dual pack. And they're like a Mega Man-ish style game, and they have a lot of nods to the episodes on there. So yeah, if you haven't tried it out, they're super fun.
I just remembered the last one. I'm going to briefly mention it. The Crazy Castles episode. And only because Mike Matei is so funny on there as Bugs Bunny. He's like, yeah, what's up, Doc? Dude, some of those videos Mike Matei really helped make.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, even like they had the Jason, Freddy, and Michael Myers episodes. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Mike was probably dressed up as those characters.
Yeah.
Filming. And those were fantastic. I remember watching like the Halloween episode, and he takes the Atari controllers and sticks them in Michael Myers' eyes.
Yeah. But man, yeah, Mike Matei not being on the channel anymore, I feel like has hurt the channel because he is hilarious.
Yeah. I guess he streams on Twitch. I don't watch him on there, but I guess he does fairly well for himself streaming over there. But definitely it has a different feeling not having the original crew, I guess.
Yeah,
say,
and I miss Bootsy too, because Bootsy had some cool videos.
Yes, and we had just brought up about Board James was great. I loved all those episodes as well, and how this crazy backstory that involved into something you wouldn't even think. And you're like,
that was a really great series. Board James was amazing. I think that's James's favorite series he's ever made.
No kidding. Yeah, that's a fun one. If you guys haven't checked it.
Bootsy Beats when he does Battletoads. I bet I watched that video 1,000 times when I was trying to beat it.
Right. We had mentioned that before in the past about it, and that was a great, I thought, series that was going to evolve because Bootsy was pretty good at video games. But yeah,
he beat Silver Surfer, which is like
no
Mega Dan 29 is the only other person I understood that.
But AVGN, a little celebration episode towards him. Can't wait to see some more episodes. I'm going to have to check out that book, A Movie Making Nerd. You guys can listen to it for free at Audible if you sign up for the membership and then just cancel
free month trial. Yep.
Or it's $20 for the paperback if you want to grab it. I don't know if it's any cheaper at conventions. If you go to a convention, I don't know if it's 20 there or 15, but hey, support them, right?
Yep.
I'd say that's about it. If you guys want to catch out longer episodes of our podcast, you can catch us every Saturday at 7 a.m. for the weekly War Pipe. You can call us and give us a message if you want. Maybe give us some topic suggestions or let us know how we're doing on the show. That's 949-682-9277. Leave us a voicemail. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, please.
Other than that, you can find me at Russ Lyman. I got 4 YouTube channels, so go subscribe to one of them, please. I just passed, what did I pass?
25K. Congrats.
I actually passed 20. I'm at 26 now. So
woo!
Thank you.
Go Russ.
26,000 subscribers at Russ Lyman. So we're on our way. Get that silver play button in the next few years.
Please get it.
I need 100,000 for that. So we'll see.
Somebody's got to get it around here.
I know it. Subscribe to that. And then if you like video game music, I have my other channel, 8-Bit Bliss. I have 100 subscribers on that channel. So consider subscribing for that. And Jay, where are you at?
TikTok. I haven't been super active lately because I've been putting together a deck on my back porch, but I'll get back at it soon enough. And you can also check out my old videos on YouTube because they're still there for everybody to enjoy. And most importantly, every Wednesday and Saturday, I'm right here with my buddy Russ Lyman for the weekly War Pipe.
That's right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out.